Welcome back, guys. It's Craig with Turner Motorsport. Today we're going to be talking about an awesome product to help you keep your E90 M3 protected on the street or on the track. We're going to show you how easy it is to install our Turner Motorsport skid plate, and we're going to show you exactly what it's replacing and what it's protecting. So why don't you follow me and we'll get started on the DIY. So what we have currently installed in the car is the factory BMW splash guard. All it's really going to do is offer you some protection against rain, water, dirt, dust, contaminants in the engine bay, but it's not really going to do much as far as hard hits because it's soft and fairly brittle. So we're going to replace it with something a lot sturdier, Turner skid plate, and it's going to give you a lot of added protection for your oil cooler, your radiator, and some other components that are left fairly vulnerable by the lack of protection found in the factory skid plate. So let's go ahead and take this guy off and show you just how easy it is to install ours. So this is incredibly simple. All you're going to need is an 8mm socket and a 4mm Allen. So we're going to have 19 of these 8mm bolts that hold the 3-piece skid plate, and they're going to be all along here and up on the back here on the inside of the wheel well, as well as 3 Allen bolts right here that you're just going to remove with this 4mm Allen. So we're going to just time lapse this for you because it's a little bit boring to watch. We're going to take these 3 pieces off. You can follow along if you want. So you may have noticed these two 10mm bolts. There's 2 here and 2 on the other side. Very important that you don't take those off. They're actually connected to this wire here. It's connected to a hanger, and that holds your whole splash guard up, and it makes install and removal very easy. All you do is just take this guy, twist it, pull it forward, and drop it down, and you do the same on the other side. So you can just follow me over here and we'll do that real fast. And your skid plate should come free. Just pull it back towards the back of the car and it's ready to be removed. So with the factory splash guard removed, we can see everything that's vulnerable here that we're going to be protecting. We have these low-hanging lines as well as our radiator, and really most importantly our oil cooler is incredibly vulnerable. So it's going to be really important that we protect that with the Turner skid plate. So the next thing we're going to do before we install the new Turner skid plate is actually install the support braces that fasten to the frame rails, and it's going to add a lot of rigidity and protection. What I've done is actually already installed the frame nut in the frame rail. It's fairly simple to do. You just take some mechanic wire, fish it up inside the frame, and fasten it down with an M6 10mm screw that's provided in the kit as well. We have the full detailed explanation on a PDF that we're going to link in the description below, and it's as well on the product page on turnermotorsport.com. So you can see over here we have our factory splash guard. It's flimsy plastic, doesn't really offer a whole lot of protection, and it's only supported by those bolts we took out earlier and these 2 little flimsy wire hangers here that don't really offer much by way of resistance, so it's not going to absorb those hard hits that you want. But what we do want to do is take these seals off here for the channel that provides cool air to the oil cooler, and we're going to move them over to our brand new Turner skid plate, which as you can see follows the same contours as the factory splash guard. So you still have the same airflow and you get the same oil cooler air, but you have a lot more added rigidity for better protection on the street or on the track, wherever you may be driving your car. So we're going to be installing our frame support brace right here into the frame rail where we installed that frame nut earlier. And what it's going to do is it's going to slide forward, and you can see it has this little lip on it, and it's going to slide very flush with that support there for the bumper. And we're just going to install this little 5mm screw here very quickly. And it just goes right up there, slides forward to the front of the car, and should line up perfectly with that nut we installed earlier. So now that we've got these braces up here, we're going to go ahead and tighten everything down. The torque spec on this is 11 pound-feet of torque, so you're not going to want to use a whole lot of force. These guys will strip very easily. So once you feel that click, we're good to go. Alright, now what we're going to do is install the new Turner skid plate underneath our M3. It installs just like the factory pan came out. We just slide it up in between the bumper cover there and place it up against our supports. Now it helps if you go ahead and grab those 5mm Allen screws that are going to thread in to the supports that we just installed, just to hold it up here while we're putting all the rest of the hardware in. And I recommend that you don't tighten these down, just get them up there enough to hold it in place so that we can make sure to position it so that all of our hardware goes in nice and smooth. And just hand tightening them for now is fine, just to get it to stay up there. while we go and grab the rest of our hardware and start fastening it all down. So now we're gonna put these wing pieces up, and they're just gonna go in, start on the outside corner, and sort of lift it up into place. And it's gonna sit on top of the belly pan on this little rounded part. And it just sits flush, just like that. So now we have protection all the way out to the outer sides of the skid plate as well. Once we've got these wing pieces fitted up here, we're gonna wanna get them connected to the main skid plate. And they just thread in with these 4mm shorter Allen screws that were provided in the kit. Now there are two different length 4mm, and those are gonna kind of be the short ones, which are gonna go around the outside here, and the longer ones, which are gonna be back here, as well as the 5mm Allen screws that are provided to mate up with the frame brace. Now that's all detailed in the PDF that's linked in the description, so you can see those exact bolt locations. But really the most important thing that you can remember to not do is tighten everything down before you get it all positioned. So go through, get all the bolts threaded in, and then once you've got all the hardware in place, then go back and tighten everything so you make sure it lines up and it's all squared away. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and put all the hardware in and get it tightened down. All right, now I've got the hardware up here and our new Turner Motorsport skid plate is safely installed on our E90 M3. It's got a lot more added protection than the factory splash guard that it replaced, but it's still gonna have that same airflow and, like we've seen, the same factory fitment. So your oil cooler is gonna get that airflow that it needs, and it's gonna be protected and tucked up underneath here, and you're gonna be safe on the street or the track wherever you're driving your BMW. Well, we've seen just how easy it is to install our Turner Motorsport skid plate on your E9X M3 at home. So if you can install that one, you can install pretty much any of our Turner skid plates. As we mentioned before, that one really is about the most difficult as it gets. We also have them available for our F8X, M3 and M4, and it really does a great job protecting that oil cooler that's very exposed right there. Comes in raw like you see here, and as well wrinkle black like we saw on the E9X before. And we are developing and about to release the new Turner Motorsport skid plate for our E46 M3, as you can see over here. So we've spent a lot of time developing it, just making sure it's just right, and it'll be perfect to protect you on the street or on the track. So stay tuned to our social media accounts and definitely subscribe to our email accounts if you don't already to get information updates on when that's going to be available. And of course, leave any questions in the comments below, and stay tuned next time for Turner Motorsport.